Good afternoon, everybody, for another session of getting to know our AYANET community. And today we have the members of AYADO with us. Before we start, we just want to share with you this video, this conversation comes as an initiative by AYANET organization, partnership with the agenda of getting to know the community and the members of AYANET, empower them and learn more about the fieldwork. A few words about Total Profit, based in Israel at the moment, but work a lot in East Africa with the agenda to create the bridges and the bonds between different organizations, support communities, and increase the quality of life. I was very lucky to get to know Stella from AYANET and to do a couple of projects with her. Stella, maybe you present AYANET?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Eldad, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Stella.
My name is Stella Akiteng, like I've been introduced. Good afternoon. And thanks for joining us, everyone that's with us right now. I'm the coordinator for the Eastern Africa Work Camps Association, which is AYANET in short. So basically, AYANET works to foster regional integration. In this case, we are looking at the Eastern Africa region, which comprises of Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, South Sudan, Kenya, Tanzania, but also we're targeting Ethiopia, Djibouti, Somalia. Yes. So what we are working towards is strengthening the civic voice of the people of Eastern Africa to be able to bring about positive change in the region, but also a change that can be replicated in different parts of Africa and other different general publics. So we do not work alone as the Eastern Africa region, as AYANET. We work with, yes, people within institutions or parties within the Eastern Africa region, but we can also work with other collaborators that are like-minded in different regions. Should I say of the world, of the continent? So our major target is young people, but also targeting young people does not mean that it's a standalone program. We collaborate with different groups that could be adults, yes, but we want to see that we have an aim to enable young people, live a life that is with a healthy, diversified livelihood. Briefly, that's that. And talk to Eldad.
Thank you very much, Stella. Thank you very much. And today we're very excited to host AYADO, an amazing organization working in Uganda, doing some great job, led by Isaac, that maybe will join us later on. But for now, we have Jamila. She's a program manager. Jamila, maybe you present yourself, and maybe also the beneficiaries joining you in the room will present themselves as well, please.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. My name is Ademu Jamila, program manager at AYADO. With me are the two beneficiaries. They will say their names. My name is Akron. She's called Akron Salme.
My name is
Achom Beatrice. AYADO is a youth-led voluntary non-profit organization that looks at empowering the rural young people and women. We have projects in library support, and then we have protection, environment conservation, and advocacy for human rights related activities. Currently, we have a project on ending child marriage and teenage pregnancies that is in the Amuria district, particularly Abarela sub-county, where previously for the past 3 years, there have been increased cases of child marriage. Our focus is empowering the rural women and the youth. And how do we do this? It's through advancing girls' leadership skills. And this we do by directly engaging the girls in the activities we do. We also focus on community mobilization, that is for the families and other influencers. And then we also do provide direct services to the girls at risk. We look at the girls, the survivors. We also look at the girls, the child mothers. We have the orphans. We also have the girls with chronic illnesses, that's the STIs, that's our target. And how do we do it? We created platforms for the girls, and that is the Youth Innovative Centers. The Youth Innovative Centers provide a platform for the girls to meet, and it's mostly what we use as our for mobilizing in communities. We train the girls in life skills. We also give them some livelihood skills. Then we engage in other activities like music, dance, and drama. We also do games and sports to reach out the communities. And our target in mobilizing the communities, that is on ending the vices, that is the socio-cultural norms that trigger the child and end marriages in Amuria. We also support the girls in livelihood training, the business skills, and set up village VSLS village savings and loan association groups for the girls and put them in groups. We also do a collaboration. We don't work as AYADO. We also do coordinate and collaborate with other agencies. We also collaborate with the local governments because we all know that we have to tap in the innovations and then collaborating with others. We learn sharing the ideas and the experiences. Yeah.
Very impressive. Wow. So much work you've been doing. Your hands are busy. I took the liberty to look at some of the organization publicity and some of the pictures that you have shared with us. And maybe you can tell us a bit about what we're watching. I will share it with you. So we can understand better and visual also what the organization is doing. So we have the first picture here. Can you tell us what we see?
Yes.
Right, maybe I will join you because that was in our first learning year. Jamila joined us in the second phase of the project. For the first
yes. Just please introduce yourself.
Yes, I will be able to describe that. That is one of the inception meetings we had with Girls Not First, Girls First Fund, because it is our donor. Mm-hmm. They organized an inception meeting with Girls Not Brides. It's one of the umbrellas for organizations that promote child development and also ending child marriages in the communities. It's an umbrella for organizations and CBOs that are agitating for the ending of child marriages in the communities. So that picture was taken in Kampala and it was attended by the guarantees. Those are all members of the guarantees who were given a grant to implement projects which are related to child marriages at their respective communities. Yes.
Isaac, can you introduce yourself in a couple of words, please?
Sorry?
Can you introduce yourself in a few words, please?
I'm the team leader for AYADO. I work for AYADO as a team leader. And this specific project is one of the projects that we are doing and where Jamila is our project manager. Yes.
Thank you. And what do we see here in the next picture?
In the next picture, also it is one of the pictures taken in one of the parishes where we are implementing, where the community leaders, after the inception meeting, they agreed to append their signatures and agree that ending child marriage is critical in societal development. It was taken by our field officers and was taken within the communities, one of the parishes within the sub-county, that is Abarelela.
That's very impressive. We have a couple of more pictures. I think this is you here, no?
Yes, it was me. It was one of the pictures I took when I was doing a training on life skills for the teenage mothers. One thing I want to emphasize is that the issue of child marriage is very critical, and it's one of the very big problems we're having in northern Uganda, and it is affecting so many girls. And now with the outbreak of COVID, it has made girls to be out of school, and this has made most of the men to take it as an opportunity for them to feast on these girls. We are having a very high increase than ever before on the number of the girls who have been impregnated when they are still very young. These are girls who are still 15, 16 years, like the ones we are seeing already, they are carrying children. And these girls are still 15, 16. And we are trying to do much to see that how can we be able to disseminate some of the information to the communities to ensure that they can change the mindset of marrying the girl, seeing a girl as a source of income. Because for us here, the marriage norms or our cultural norms, we look at girls as a source of money. Once they get married, we are given a dowry. And the dowry that is given, sometimes most of the parents, because they produce more than 8 to 10 children per household. So what happens is that most of the households, the parents have to prioritize. They have to pick who goes to school. And because of the minimal resources, the girl is sacrificed because they say a girl will get pregnant, she will get married and taken away. So what happens is that these girls, once they are married off, the little cattle that they get, the cows, is used for taking the boy to school, which is wrong, because education actually is a basic need and should have been given, not necessarily based on gender. And that's why we are standing up as the youth within the community to say, at least for us who have gone to school, we should not witness these things just happen. We need to go an extra mile and talk to the community leaders, the religious leaders, local leaders, and also police, because we've had cases where also police are compromised. After a girl has been impregnated by maybe a school teacher, gives some small money to the police, so the police cannot follow up the case. That's why we are really working now with them to ensure that we follow up these cases and they are brought to book.
Such an important work. Thank you. We would like to hear what the girls have to say. Have the girls, Jamila, did they join the program?
Yes, Jamila joined us this year because the first 1 year was a pilot. We had a pilot project. Once we went to GFA Girls First Fund to justify to them that there is a problem, they gave us a small grant as a learning year. But later when they came for monitoring, they were so much impressed because the little grant that we got, we were able to achieve a lot. And they agreed with us that they want to partner with us more. They gave us another contract for 3 years now, starting this year. So we had to recruit a new project manager, who is now Jamila, to come and spearhead this project as we try to do other resource mobilization, because this is one of the problems amidst there's so many problems that are affecting the communities where we come from.
Of course. And the girls that joined us, the beneficiaries, have they took a part in the program?
Yeah, the girls who have joined us in the meeting are part of the girls who have been mentored initially, and we are using them as the focal persons to go and sensitize. For example, when the schools are open, we go with them, they share their stories, how things are difficult once you get married when you're young. So that the other ones who are at school can take it as a lesson that where they are heading or where they are telling them to go is not necessarily an easy life as proposed. So these girls, we are also trying to support them with livelihood support, as my colleague has already said. Like today, we are giving out some of the goods to try to enhance their livelihoods, to make sure that they push on life. Because one of the things I must say is that these girls, once they are impregnated and then they are extended or married off, the boys or the husbands to be run away because of the law. Most of them run to campaign and leave the girls as single mothers. Now, once they are single, their parents, the parents of the girl, force the girls to go to the house of the boy, like the family of the boy, which boy is no longer there. So at the end of the day, these girls are put in very difficult conditions at the husband's place until they end up coming back again to their own home. Now, when they come to home, when they come back to their home, also still, the parents, because they have a lot of high needs, they have very many children also to take care of, they are taken as spoiled fruits. They are now not taken as a priority. They say, after all, you've already gotten pregnant, you're already spoiled. Everyone leaves them there neglected. That's why we are saying, at least we give a hand, we give a push through so that these girls can be able to make a living also and survive. These are still children who have not yet reached the maturity to meet their own needs. That's why our being there is very critical. They are looking at us as the only option now for them. They can run to our office once they have challenges. We offer psychosocial support to try to counsel them not to go into depression.
Maybe the girls would like to share a couple of words with us. How do you see the program? How was it to be part of those campaigns and to take and to join the program given to you by AYADO?
I think they can. They should be able. Though they, because of the English, because most of them dropped in the early primary level, they will be speaking.
It's okay. It's okay.
Translating. I think it's okay.
It's okay if Jamila can translate. It's very okay.
Thank you. You can just share your experience. When you put any lomaria, AYADO, and Namera, the Sandia, put an express, you will put a little of Lopana, Sadia. The Panic, you do put any furniture, you do to Copania Susemelo, happy to be shy. The case, Mamma, you will put along and open a jar and put your long man. This one puts that Nani, Yamera, Nadia, and then no one puts that Nani. Very general Gramsci, Aramara, Sida, Vera Jackson, and Market. You have to see a penny for that girl.
Isomero da asante mutisi mukoteta ishomo mamene beta tatisomero mandi gente la boni abo tudo okoto kindeta bedo ka fight ni abo isna etapa ni lozi yo mamene ni ka kuni somo apa kinde mo kone ashalan kini.
Okay, she's sharing the fact of poverty. For her, where she comes from, her family, the father and the mother are typical drunkards. They do not provide for any basic needs. She tried to push herself going to school. Sometimes they're going to school, they have to do casual labor to raise the money to provide for the basic needs. However much they try to involve the parents to provide the basic needs, all they do is to drink, and most of their money is just for alcohol. And she ended up dropping in primary 7 because however much she tried to push, she could not push anymore. She did not have the parental guidance. She did not have the parental support to provide for her basic needs. So she dropped in P7.
Miss Kopanda, ajang yasya stadium dila AYADO. Edanga knoke da choreta arangi kokwe na kutoti aduan kini. Araiti albunga kini edukona kadi. Konye etojo kongo bala chore na AYADO apedo kona baranga polo mpape. Itungana ne na pido la do jene. Ngara kiti so ira kona so da break mbone.
She's grateful for the psychosocial support she got from AYADO. At so many times she thought of committing suicide. She even thought of, like, when the marriage was not working out, the boyfriend, she thought of running somewhere else. But always through the psychosocial, she got that empowerment. Now she feels very strong. She has gotten back herself knowing that despite all that she has gone through, despite dropping back out from school, she still feels there is a future for her.
Nisabala no bonbe yala mani rio mutula yade gambi so na kona sipo no kada mshone just kesema ara kwani ngene na gompani kapunda le papasun na pedo membo le na yada no da jadi apa na pedo ra pro no.
She's so grateful to AYADO for the advice. She feels she is strong now, even when she has ended in that stage. Any money that she gets from the activity she does, she is able to save. Because we organize them in groups, and they have the village saving groups where they're able to earn their little income and then save. So she is grateful, and she knows any money that she gets, she's able to save. She's going to be a strong woman with all the knowledge that she has gotten from the training.
Yala mga maya teka na so. Aray kwan mi tungana nin kwan purura no jokan. Yala mga keseng na so to maum shirke. Kider kwan mo la bin kwan mo kuda agugung.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so inspiring. Thank you so much. Stella, would you like to add something? Stella, you're on mute, if you can hear me.
Hello?
Yes.
Me. Okay. Thank you so much, Ayado. And I have to say that one thing that we forgot to mention is we recognize and we appreciate Ayado being a member to AYAWANET, and we commend your efforts in bringing about transformation. I've been to Eastern Uganda. I know I'm always in Eastern Uganda, and I've also observed the challenges regarding young people, especially when it comes to early marriage, even forced marriages, and so on, issues with child abuse. So one of the questions I needed to find out, to ask, the first one is, how do you, I know you just mentioned that you target orphans, and I know there must be several orphans that are there. So I'm wondering, how do you identify that this orphan is more vulnerable than the other? Because vulnerability levels vary. So could you educate on us for learning purposes, how you go about identifying beneficiaries when it comes to...
I would repeat Stella question. I would repeat it. I would repeat Stella's question. I would repeat Stella's question just to make sure, Jamila, that you heard the question right. She was asking, she was telling about how she knows the area, and she knows that one of the big issues, as you mentioned, is the orphanage. And she was wondering, how can you tell between one orphanage and the other? How can you choose your way of engagement, and how can you make sure that you're helping the most vulnerable ones?
Okay, let me hope my colleague to respond to that.
Okay, thank you so much, Stella. It's my pleasure that you've ever been here and then you understand the situation down here. Like I shared before, we work in collaboration with other partners, the key stakeholders that we know, the local leaders in the community, the police and the sub-counties and the district and other partners. But prior to that, we conducted a vulnerability assessment in the villages operation. And then in our selection for the beneficiaries, we also targeted girls at risk. Like I already explained to you, we have girls at risk, those who are already married, like below 18 years. And then after marrying, like my colleague shared with you many times, they married, then they tried to follow the boys home, having been chased from their parents' home, but the boys ran away from them and leave them at home. And the condition there at the boys' home is not one that is favorable. So that's one type. Then the formerly married girls, but we also have girls at risk, those girls who have chronic illnesses. We look at like sexually transmitted infections. And then we also have orphans, still children below 18, and then we also have separated children. So basically the vulnerability assessment on the consideration.
Thank you very much.
No?
Yeah. Another question that we had is that we know many organizations are being challenged by the local, of course, the local programs and the local needs. But another big challenge that we find lately is actually measuring the impact. Meaning, I know that let's say I know that I can do a good job, and I know that I'm helping the locals, and my beneficiaries is I increase the quality of life. But how can I measure my impact? And we know there's many different ways to measure impact. And we would like to know from you, Jamila, how did you measure your impact in the field?
Okay, thanks. We have MN monitoring and evaluation accountability framework that we regularly have the technical team visiting our projects. And then we also have project evaluation conducted. And inside that, before I let the collaboration part of it works, we also have joint monitoring for our activities. And the joint monitoring is being done together, AYADO staffs, then we have the district officials, and then the local leaders, and then we have, the girls have, since we said we have the youth innovative center, we have the mentors, and then the volunteer mothers who support the girls. So to measure our impacts, we always do the joint monitoring, and after the joint monitoring, we are able to have the project review meetings. And in our project review meetings, we engage the various stakeholders. At community level, we also have what we call beneficiary feedback. And the beneficiary feedback, we engage with the beneficiaries in community meetings. That is our target groups. But we also sometimes put, during our community dialogues, because we conduct community dialogues at community level, that is to sensitize the communities on the norms, the cultural norms towards the marriages, and the environment and themes, and in many cases we have that. So from those reports, we are able to assess the impacts of the project that we have already. We have the reports and showing us that we really have great impacts for that project.
Very good, Jamila. Thank you very much. Another challenge that we see a lot lately is the funding issue. We know funding is always very tricky, especially in those days around the coronavirus. Wait, before I continue, maybe Stella want to say something. Stella?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. The other thing I wanted to be educated on, one of the things that is very common, especially in Testo region, but Jamila could confirm that in the target area, is the issue of young people, children. Some children even carry their siblings that are not even able to yet walk. There is in the local language is called Okadibong. I don't know whether you know that, Jamila. Where young people, yes, where young people move to party in the night and you see the unaccompanied, which is very risky because you don't know what behavioral patterns they are going to meet in that area, or maybe like during a New Year's Day, you find children moving to the center, to the train center to celebrate, and they are really young children, and you're wondering where the parents leaving the children moving to the centers and accompanied. But even if they're accompanied, I want to believe that young children are not supposed to young people, especially the children 18 years, starting below 18 years, should be moving to such risky places. So I don't know, because I believe that these are the things that have contributed to the increment of say STIs, unwanted pregnancies, teenage pregnancies. So how are you going about that, and how are you involving the police, family child protection unit in the monitoring process? Thank you.
I think what Stella asked eventually, it was a bit hard to hear everything, Stella, because of communication. But I think she generally asked about how you can get different partners and stakeholders to take part of your programs. She mentioned the police and she mentioned some other partners. In terms of the education and the local challenges, how can you create those partnerships?
All right, thank you, Stella. I'm glad you understand the setting here. Sorry? Child abuse, neglect, and maltreatment is a big issue here. And when you realize it's one of the factors that pushes the girls to child marriage. Community engagement and empowerment is one of our strategies that we do when conducting our activities. And how do we build a partnership? Just like I already shared, when we start our activities, the vulnerability assessment, we coordinate with the different stakeholders. And then before the project starts off, we do project inception meetings. And in these inception meetings, we invite all the key stakeholders right from the district, from the community, that follows the children, the youth, and the women, because we have to have all the key stakeholders involved so that we are able to share ideas, learn from each one. So we build that partnership by engaging everyone right from the inception meetings. We also conduct community dialogues, and community dialogues where we sensitize the communities on the referral mechanisms. We engage the police. That's how we build our partnerships. Then we also do community dialogues to sensitize the communities on the social norms and how we can end the child marriage and teenage pregnancies. The partner partnerships, like I already shared, that is a joint motor, because when you have the inspections, you have activities being done many times, just like we shared with you today, we'll be supporting the girls with a few materials for income generating activities. That's for their livelihoods. We'll be giving some of them the boats. We'll be giving some of them sewing machines for tailoring. We are not going to do it alone as AYADO. We still have partnership, the collaboration that we do. We are doing it together with the sub-county. We are going to do the handover in the sub-county headquarters, where we have the sub-county officials. We also have some of the local leaders. Those are the LOC ones to witness the handover as we do handover the items to the girls. So for us, coordination and collaboration is very key, because we look at when you coordinate with the various stakeholders, there are new ideas, the innovativeness that you get from them, and the feedback we receive from them is very vital for us in our operations and implementation of activities.
That's amazing, Jamila. It's great. It's great to hear from you.
She was trying to share if I've ever had a Okadbong. She seems to know the setting so much. Okadbong is when we have the young girls and the young boys. For example, when we have celebrations, maybe celebrations in the community. They don't go daytime, so they wait to go in the evening. When that's the time now they can engage the young girls, they lure them to do whatever they will do with them. So, like already shared with you, we do community sensitization, the mass sensitization for the influencers. That's what we do. But also in our innovative centers with the girls, we take them through the life skills. So our centers are like platforms for sensitization of the community. So through the life skills, we also engage them in music, dance, and drama, and then sports. Sometimes we have inter-competition. Since these girls don't come from one village, they come from different villages. And then we do, in music, dance, and drama, sometimes we stage what we call a street show. For example, we have a market day, and we know in the market day is when we capture a big audience. So we stage a show in one center that attracts a bigger attention. Yeah. So all these issues we do cut them across. And then one thing I'm proud to say is the capacity of the communities to report such cases has been built. They know that referral mechanisms, they don't do shortcuts like they used to, because previously once there's a girl is pregnant below 18, the family of the girl and the family of the boys negotiate way at home, silently, maybe with the local leaders, and you realize that everything is silent. But nowadays, with the capacities of the communities built, we have the girls themselves many times, we even have the parents themselves standing and saying this is wrong, and you realize by the time as the others are still trying to bargain way in the village, someone has already tipped us at AYADO, or someone has already run to the police. And we're even proud to be so far rescued some of the girls that the parents had already negotiated for their marriage, and then we are back and we have them in our group.
Jamila, it's amazing. It's amazing to hear everything you're doing, and in such a professional way, and to meet your beneficiaries and to hear more and more about your programs. we would like very much for you, if possible, to share more of your programs with us, with the AYANET. We see the huge potential in collaboration with different organizations who work in the same areas. We want to thank you so much for your time. Let me just share your contact, so people may reach out for you. Thank you so much for your time and for this great conversation. We appreciate it so very much. Thank you, girls. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.